Okay, so
for the opportunity to share with you all our experience in dealing with the impact of a human, economic, and environmental tragedy. Today, we are going to have three people in this open forum. I will give a brief. I have an introduction by the Ministry of Science and Technology and Innovation representative in Brazil. He will give an introduction to the theme. And finally, we are going to present some cases, how technology can mitigate the aftermath of human tragedy in general. On January 25th, last year, Vale Mining Company's tailings dam in Brazil collapsed. In this tragedy, my daughter, Camila, 33 years old, my son, Luis, 31 years old, and my daughter-in-law, Fernanda, 30 years old, who was 5 months pregnant with my grandson, Lorenzo, were killed. In addition to them, another 268 people were killed. The collapse of the dam released about 12 million cubic meters of tailings. The leaking of tailings affected about 75% of 2.7 million square meters of native vegetation along 300 kilometers of the Paraopeba River basin. In addition, smallholders farmers were affected by the loss of cattle and poultry and also the destruction of agricultural areas. The rupture of the Vale Company dam in Brumadinho, Minas Gerais, was not an unexpected disaster. It followed 3 other previous disasters in Brazil with human losses and serious environmental damage. I like to use the citation of a researcher from Argentina who has already pointed out that the history of mining in Latin America is based on the myth of inevitable progress with the continuous increase in the volume of mineral extraction to obtain maximum profit, keeping the surrounding population hostage to promises, trapped in a dream of wealth that it never comes true. This maximum profit at any cost mining companies' strategies is at the heart of the ecological destruction caused by mining companies. It should not be surprise anyone that last May, new research from the Transition Pathway Initiative revealed that just 2 of 10 largest mining companies are aligned with sustainable development goals. How does the dam burst impact the environment and the people's lives? Several public bodies have jointly reported that fishing in the Paraopeba River has also been interrupted due to the possible presence of pollutants in the river and consequently in the species found there. The problem of water scarcity is spread out in the region. Water supply depends on water trucks in 16 communities located in the city where the dam collapsed. This is because direct capture of water on the stretch of the river most polluted by mining waste remains prohibited. The water quality of the Paraopeba River has been monitored by environment government agents. Since the tragedy, reports from the agents have revealed that levels of lead and mercury, for example, have risen even though they were not part of the tailings composition. So what to do in this tragic situation? It's clear that the task to overcome this social, economic, and environment damage is huge and needs many actors working together. What we are going to present to you today is just a small seed we are spreading in the soil because we believe that technology can help to mitigate some of the problems that have arisen due to the dam's rupture. Last year, the Internet Steering Committee in Brazil approved the execution of projects or the implementation of projects that were able to use web technologies to solve real problems of real people, and at the same time foster the culture of entrepreneurship. Thus, the Center for Studies on Web Technologies at NICBR joined to the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Innovations to format this program. Today, we will present to you all project proposals that will be implemented to address specific problems. Now, I invite Marco César de Oliveira Pinto, Director for Innovation and Entrepreneurship Policies at the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Innovation to speak and give an introduction to the theme. Marcos, thanks for joining us. You have the floor now.
All right. Thank you very much, Wagner. It's been a very powerful introduction, and I'm really sorry for your loss. And clearly, what happened was a tragedy, but we as the government, of course, we have not only the role to prevent future tragedies as such, but we also have to give an appropriate response to the survivors and to the community that has faced such a hard challenge. And obviously, we hear from the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Innovation. As such, we really believe that innovation can be a key driver for economic and human development. And actually, when we think about the current global health crisis, it's quite clear how important it is for the governments to foster innovation as a way to face the hardest challenges of society. And obviously, a natural disaster is, in this case, or an accident that has a huge environmental impact is such a disaster. So in this spirit, that the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Innovation has supported this project from the Internet Steering Committee, the Move on the Web for Brumadinho project. We do believe that in a city that has been ravaged by a serious accident with hundreds of deaths and serious environmental damage, we needed to create alternatives and alternative paths for the local economy to recover. And that's mainly what this project is about. So with the support of the Brazilian Internet Steering Committee, we've been able to harness the power and the reach of the internet to select proposals from all over the country to face a critical local challenge, which is the recovery from the accident. These different projects were chosen, they seek to use a variety of technologies, such as big data, blockchain, IoT, and so on, to help the city of Brumadinho to recover from this horrible tragedy. This initiative is very important, but it's not the only one. So we have, at the moment, a very strong effort from the government to push for digital solutions, not only for disaster recovery, but to improve the quality of living of the population as a whole and to turn Brazil into a more competitive economy. So that was a very brief introduction. Now, I think Vinicius Jefferson will continue with further details about the project. And again, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I give the floor to him. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the words. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, I would like to start introducing myself. My name is Jefferson Silva. I am a researcher and the program leader. It's been an honor to conduct this program. And I would like to start saying what do we expect by the end of this meeting. So by the end of the talk, what we really would like to have is get your opinions and perceptions and experiences that can strengthen the program, because that's all what it's about. It's not a program that was designed by just one hand or one head or a few heads. We try to, in every way possible, try to get the most of the opinions and perceptions, because we believe that's going to strengthen the program, not only this program, but every other future versions of the programs. So thank you, Mr. Marcos Pinto, for all the cooperation and of the Ministry of Science and Technology and Innovation, specifically Leonardo Freitas, who has been of great help since from the call to projects and every other aspect in the program. I would like to thank the Federal University of Minas Gerais for the support with the meetings and with the city inhabitants as well. There is another key partner which is Softex, which is an agency for the excellency in the trainings for entrepreneurship. They really have been a key partner, showing and sharing out their experience and know-how. And also the Secretary for the Economic Development of Minas Gerais for reviewing proposals and all other aspects as well. So after that brief introduction that was given by Wagner, when we got approval for the project in NIC-BR, we started with a meeting with the city inhabitants. And that's because we wanted to make a program that was really that came from the real needs of those people, and that was the most effective program that we could design. So we started with this meeting, and the idea with this meeting was to try to identify the needs that those people had, and not in the short term when we went there, but in the mid and long term, because we predicted that those people would have a lower support from the society from in the mid and long term, because they were having a lot of support from just after the tragedy happened. So that the meeting happened in August 2019. And it was a moderated meeting. It was conducted by Carol Burley, which is a member of our team in the BR, and he is in her maternity leave. And conducted by her, we started listening to the inhabitants and all and other affected people about that awful experience that Wagner told about his experience on that, the loss of their beloved ones, their pain, and how they were affected economically and socially. So what happened is that everyone written down their needs according to their own perception, what they thought that we could do to help them. And in a group, we started to analyze collectively all these needs. And when we analyzed that, some categories emerged, they like popped out. And these categories are represented here in this picture. So you can now see these post-its, they are on the walls, they are glued on the walls, attached to the walls. And these posters represent every need of the citizens. And after that, we started prioritizing because we had a lot of ideas. Everyone would like to have tried to contribute. We had about, I don't know, like maybe 30 or 40 people in this meeting. And after that, there was some kind of a vote. And the votes and the ideas were these orange dots that they had to go there and vote. So after that, these categories, they converged very clearly into themes. And these themes, they became our program goals. So our program, our overall goal is, of course, to mitigate economic and social problems of the city. But and we would like to do that in two specific different ways. We would like to promote entrepreneurship among college students. And this part is the specialty of the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Innovation. And they are responsible for that, along with Softex that I just have introduced to you. But also, we would like to stimulate students to undertake technological projects using web technologies. And we chose two technologies that they are widely used, and they have a very specific reason for being chosen, which is progressive web apps, PWA, and Internet of Things, IoT. And they have been chosen because they allow an offline, progressive web apps, they work even in offline mode. And Internet of Things, it stimulate the interaction with the environment, creating solutions that includes the environment as well. And after that, these goals, they kind of represent the how we would like to contribute. So we got what we have that is strong in us, which is the knowledge and the know-how for entrepreneurship, and the knowledge and know-how for building internet applications. And we put that together and release the call to proposal with these two themes here. So we would like projects that foster local women's social networks. So this was one of the themes that emerged from those categories. So those projects, they had to, I have to do this, otherwise I can't see here. Those projects, they need to address environmental monitoring by community, and they also need to create sustainable economic environmental matrices. So these projects, we wanted projects that improved the management of water resources, and projects that connected consumer and producers. So these things, they did not came out of our heads. They came out from those categories that the inhabitants of Brumadinho specifically chosen for us. So after that, we had a review process of these the submitted proposals. We got 26 project proposals that were submitted in our culture projects. And we counted with 10 reviewers from all different places. There were people from NICBR, from universities, from the Ministry of Science and Technologies. And we did that to try to get as many points of views. And after everyone reviewed a set of the project proposals, we had a final reviewer meeting where we could discuss and deal with specific cases, and everyone had a chance to express how they felt about those proposals. And we came to the conclusion that we would accept five projects that I present to you right now. So I think it's important to say that these projects, they are presented, I'm going to use the word raw for lack of a better term. But when I say raw, is that these are the projects that they are as is. So of course, these projects, these students, they are going to pass through a training, and in this training, then they are expected to learn a lot about how to build a problem, how to validate a problem, and how to develop an application that is really an answer to that problem. But I'm going to present to you what they presented to us. And as I said to you, we expect that these proposals, they evolve over time. It's natural that they evolve over time. And hopefully with your suggestions and opinions as well. So the first project that I would like to present, and the other here is random. So it's just an order for presentation. They do not represent classification or things like that. And we have the Brumadinho Open Data Lakes and Analytics. And the students' motivation for that is that they are premised that a lot of tools, they try to generate data for visualization and for they generate data for understanding of the problem, but a few tools really work to simplify and to work to handle these data in some way. So what I'm trying to say here is that they tried to really understand, they have a solution to understand the problem that they have there. They have a solution in which they can provide some visualization that helps people to understand what's going on. It's not only about collecting data about a specific phenomenon, but how to visualize the data of this phenomenon in some way. So I believe this is a very clever solution because it really became an endpoint for all the other projects, as you all gonna see, hopefully. So they connected to the other projects, and the idea of the proponents is that with this tool they can work in the decision making and evidence-based policy making. So without this tool, decision making and evidence-based policy making are undermined. So they even have identified a few data sources that are spread out and not easily processed, not easily understandable. So they used as an example the Brazilian Institute of Geography and Statistics and the Brazilian Open Data Portal, which has not a very good usability. It's not really easy to reuse the data. They do not offer an API. And what they are trying to achieve is that to offer a tool in which the data that are presented there and by the other tools, they can be better visualized and explored. I think I'm not sure if I mentioned, but this is the project of the Federal University of Minas Gerais. So as a goal, they wanted to create a web application for data science and analytics that can aid in the decision making. So they want to create a technological framework that gathers data coming from different sources. And with that, they can centralize data that are scattered, and this can subsidize evidence-based policymaking and strengthen environmental monitoring as well. Just for you to have a glimpse of the technology they're going to use, they are working based on a previous solution that they have. It's called Lemonade, which stands for live exploration and mining of a non-trivial amount of data from everywhere. And these tool that they have allows the implementation of experimentation, tests, data processing, and application deployment. And they can create an easier data line process for data scientists, which can be beneficial because many people there are just starting with technology, and it would allow them to work with data science tools early on in the process. They can work to understand their own environment and things like that. And these tool is what allows this visual platform for distributed computing. And they are based on technologies like Ophidia and Sparks, and it's based on microservices. If you allow me to get a little bit technical, I'm sorry about that. Some people like me like to understand things in like technical terms. And the other project that I'm going to present is from Federal University, Fluminense University. It's called Brumadinho Coin, an environmental coin of solidarity. And they work, they build their argument for the project based on that the city is highly economically dependent on a single company, which is Vale. And the dark side of it is that a whole city puts most of its eggshells on a single basket. And I believe we put that in the call to projects, that we need to mitigate the impact, the economic impact for local inhabitants. And so they tried to create an alternative form to create income for the locals. And this is kind of a virtual currency ecosystem. And what they try to do is to monetize the acts of preservation. And with that, incentivize environmental preservation and recovery of forests and watersheds. And the idea here is that they are going to create an ecosystem that makes use of the virtual coin that they're going to create, they name Bitcoin. And this Bitcoin is going to be used for the payment of the environmental services. So let's imagine that someone finds something that it's some trash garbage disposed on a river, and this person has the opportunity to go there and improve the environment. So they're going to employ some effort to clean the river, and by that they are going to be rewarded in Bitcoins. So for that, they are going to use blockchain, web platforms, and smart contracts. So they make a very clever and a very ingenious combination of these to create this virtual currency ecosystem that I'm talking about. So this is what I was trying to show you. The user, they register using the app, the web app that they're going to create, that they can perform a service that is that they can get Bitcoins. So these data is converted into blockchain transactions, and if those blockchain transactions are approved, they can go there. And first, a smart contract is generated automatically between a company. No, I'm sorry. Just let me put one step back here. So the user, they register the service in the web application. Then the web application converts that data into blockchain transactions, and that these data is generated an ID that can be sponsored by a company. So if a company is sponsored that transaction, that activity, then a smart contract is generated, and the person can go there and perform the service. And after performing the service, this person gets the Bitcoins and can use that Bitcoin in the local market. And what happens is that, where does this money come from? Because it needs to come from from somewhere. And it comes from the incentives that the government can provide to these companies. So when they reward in Bitcoins, they can use that to tax deduction, and or credits, environmental credits, like reduction of carbon credits, or reforesting, or things like that. So by creating this virtual ecosystem, we hope that the inhabitants have an alternative way to get some income and improve their lives. I'm running out of time. So the other project that I would like to present is that it's called Superação, a platform for collective funding of innovative projects for women in Brumadinho. And the project is based on the fact that many families depend on women's labor force. It was true before the tragedy, but what happens is that the tragedy aggravates the problem, because in many cases the women became the only source of income because they lost their male counterpart. And we heard that specifically in that meeting in Brumadinho. So they said two things: the female talents are being lost because they are not well connected to each other. So a female, a woman, produces something, but other people do not know that something is being, a service is being done, a product is being created. And it's free from craft work that could be solved within the existing marketplace. But what they said is that they wanted something that was larger than WhatsApp and Telegram groups, but easier to use than existing marketplace platforms. And we also heard that from some young women there that they have innovative ideas which would demand more customized solutions. So they needed to leverage some money for that. And the people from the Federal University, Federal Institute of Education, they got that and created and proposed this project. And the goal for this project is that to collect innovative women of ideas and create a crowdfunding platform so that these ideas could be implemented. So it would be necessary to promote strategic partnerships for the project creation, execution, and management, but they also propose to create transparent mechanisms to avoid what is really common in crowdfunding platform, that is money laundering and other illegal schemes. So all the money would not go to any other third source. And they have created mechanisms to show that the money is really being used to fund these projects. So in the technology stack, So what they try to propose is to create a very and simple subscription process. And in the technology stack, they're going to use PWA for creating the apps. And in the back end, they are going to use Pulone, which is widely used in the development of government portals, Brazilian government portals at least. And it's safe with a good performance and highly customizable. So the fourth project that I would like to show you is called the Brumadinho Alert, a technological solution for reporting environmental violations. And what they realized is that the existing channels like these SEMAG for reporting environmental violations are really ineffective. You can do it in person, you can use online forms, you can do it over the phone, using printed forms or using email. In many cases, people in the city don't even know how to use email. And going there in person is really inefficient, and that contributes to many environmental reports not even get reported after all. And alternatively, there are some existing apps that could be used to file these environmental violations, but they suffer from poor usability. There are inexistent tracking of violation reports. So you report, but you don't know if that was what happened to that report you did. And it's really region specific. So they do not necessarily work in every region. So what they propose is to make the process for reporting environmental violations easier, more agile, and more transparent. And with that, they hope to strengthen environmental surveillance. And they even created a gamification process that rewards the population for using the app. So they have lots of features. They have a complaints feed, a gamification process. It's a really interesting really interesting solution. So there are three main entities involved. So first one is the users, they report the violations, then the non-governmental non-agencies, non-government organizations, they validate the violations. And when these NGOs, they validate the violations, they go directly to the public entities to resolve these violations, and everything could be tracked by the user. So when the violation would be reported, when it was validated, whether it was validated, when the public entity received that, and what happened to that report. And they show it in a map as well. So it's really interesting. And the last one that I would like to present to you is called Real-Time Monitoring System of the Water Quality of a River. And what happened is that, as Wagner mentioned, contaminated water of Paraupeba River, mainly with mercury and lead, makes it impossible to use that water. And that affects millions of people. Millions of goes from 100,000 to millions of people that are affected in some way by that. And inhabitants are not even aware of the river's quality. So they cannot ingest that, drink that water. So that makes everything difficult. So what they propose is to use two parameters that are widely used. One of them is TDS, total dissolved solids. They measure the concentration of dissolved substances in water. And the other one is called turbidity, which is a physical parameter related to water, how opaque or how crystal a water is. And what they propose is to create a, just let me get back to, what they propose is that they want to create a low-cost, auto-sustainable water quality monitoring system. So they estimated that they saw it somewhere, they referenced it in the call to proposal, in the proposal, that the existing solutions from CETESB in São Paulo, Brazil, cost approximately $100,000, and their estimated cost of solution approximately $300 per station or less, and they are going to use that using basically this scheme. Again, I need to say that I'm sorry here because I need to say see here. So what they have here is a station, and the station is put here on the river, and the station is equipped with sensors. So they are going to use protocols to connect and communicate with a hub, and this hub is the device that can connect everyone to the internet, that can send the data to the internet. And then they're going to use the app they're going to develop to monitor and give knowledge about how is the water quality to everyone else. So that's the basic architecture that they are going to follow. And they're going to employ sensors, actuators, and going to employ Arduino platform and ESP microcontrollers, because they're easy to use, high available, and low cost. And to the web application is going to be based on the Django framework, and they're going to employ LoRa LP1, which has a reach of 10 kilometers reach. I extended a little bit of my time. I'm sorry about that, but I look forward to hear your questions and your opinions. I believe I should get back to Wagner right now.
Okay, thank you, Jefferson. Jefferson is our expert in the web technology at NIC-BR, and he's also the coordinator of the MoOVO on the Web project. Thank you very much, Jefferson, for showing us all the proposals and how the projects will deliver good results. And also, I would like to thank you, Marcus, for your introduction and being with us. I have a question to Jefferson. So could you give us a timeline for the implementation of these proposals? So what are the next steps to implement all the proposed solutions that you showed us?
We are already we started the training phase recently, actually 3 weeks ago. And the project, it has 12 months to conclude. The students have 12 months from now, from 3 weeks ago. And the next steps are to work for making the students think about the problems they are trying to solve. They are trying to validate whether they are trying to solve really addresses the needs of the locals, the local inhabitants of the city. And this process has been brilliantly conducted by the Ministry of Science and Technology and Communication and Innovation, I'm sorry. and Softex. They are giving this training, and after they spent about 3 months being trained in this entrepreneurship part of the program, they are going to be trained in the web application in web technologies, PWA specifically, and Internet of Things by us. And after that, they're going to have like 6 months to implement and get us a prototype, a working prototype of the project. So that's the main timeline.
Okay, thank you, Jefferson. I saw Carlos Afonso with his hand raised. Carlos Afonso is still with us. Do you want to talk?
Yes, hi, Carlos Afonso here, former member of the CGI.br and from Instituto Nopef in Rio, and a member of the multi-stakeholder advisory group of the IGF. I would like to ask a question to Jefferson and other people who presented very interesting models and methods to treat a very serious problem. We have these kind of disasters in Brazil and also in other countries. And I wonder if all the technology, the learning that you are accumulating in the Brumadinho experiment, you can transport to other areas and other incidents, and use these in other scenarios as a resource that can be used when other disasters arise and so on. That's my question. If it's only a Brumadinho experiment, or it's being prepared to be. I see that you have the lemonade mechanism, which is fantastic. So probably you are thinking of using this on a variety of situations.
Okay, thank you, Carlos Afonso. I think Jefferson can start answering, and then I can also add something. And I hope that Marcos can also help us with the idea of the scale up this experience. So Jefferson, your floor.
Okay. Thank you, Carlos, for the question. It's really a pleasure to have you here among us. And it's actually a very good question. We tried to select proposals that they are scalable, so they can be used not only on the Brumadinho, but also in other situations, in other disaster situations, or other where our solutions can be applied as well. So, for instance, the Brumadinho Alert is a project that was thought for a city in Paraná, and many of the solutions here could work as well for Mariana, that the other tragedy that we have. And so we have this concern, we had this concern, and we tried to address solutions that were not too specific, but could help other people, could reach other people, and be used in other scenarios as well. But we also tried to select proposals that interconnected between them. So as you can see, we have the proposal from Federal University of Minas Gerais, which that works on the visualization of data, and this data can be produced by the river Paraupeba and that solution from the IoT solution, and they can be used in conjunction with a Bitcoin that can be used to pay the services for people go there and try to see if the monitors are working, if the sensors are working, for instance, or not working. So the projects, they interconnect among themselves. A very good question. Thanks for asking.
Yes, I would like to add, as a matter of fact, the MoOVO on the web Brumadinho project is a pilot project of a larger project called MoOVO, or in Portuguese, MoVer, which is a Ministry of Science and Technology and Innovation program. And the idea of this pilot project in Brumadinho is to to gather experience, is to have some solid background to implement these similar projects in different areas in the country. Of course, that we still not dealing with the technologies to predict tragedies, disasters. We hope that in the next edition of this project, we could have another different proposals addressing this specific problem. So far, we have some solutions to mitigate the damage caused by happened tragedy. So Marcos, could you give some more light for us about the scaling up this project, and also say something about the MoVO or MoVer project of the Ministry of Science and Technology and Innovations?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I think there's a very clear scaling up path when we consider that we have at the moment plenty of different programs within the government to foster entrepreneurship and innovation. Therefore, and then I will give an example with, let's say, from this idea of the sensors for checking, for the water. Perhaps somebody, who is involved will turn this into an actual, startup company, let's say. And then we have plenty of programs within the government, not only in the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, but also in other ministries that will support this kind of initiative. And the fact that this project has already been selected would make it, let's say, a candidate for other programs. And this is something that we're working pretty hard now to consolidate all the different initiatives that we have to support innovative companies, especially startups. And therefore, we've created a website which is called Startup Point, that consolidates all these different initiatives and makes it easier for the entrepreneurs to find out what would apply to them. And then this would be a way forward for this kind of project. If it works out fine, then we expect that some of these projects will naturally grow. And as they grow, we will identify the different support programs that we have within the government to make them scale up.
Thank you, Marcos. And also, I can read in the chat, the Horst Kremers make a very interesting comment, talking about this idea of to scale up the projects. We call it science and practitioners gap. Some call it trenches. It's one of the political discussions necessary for broad implementation of research and development best practices, a problem in so many states. And to Marcos, he says, from innovation to large scale implementation, you need the Ministry of Environment and on municipal level at minimum. Yes. As I said in the very beginning, it's clear that the task to overcome the social, economic, and environmental damage, and also to overcome this practitioner's gap, we need many actors working together. That's the idea that we are developing on this program, putting the university, the Ministry of Science and Technology and Innovation, and also a non-profit organization like the Internet Steering Committee and NIC.br to implement this project. So you're right, Horst Kremers, thank you for your comment. Okay, so we are about to be over time. So I would like to thank very much to Marcos Cesar de Oliveira Pinto, Director for Innovation and Entrepreneurship Policies at the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovations. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you very much for your introduction, Marcos. Also, I want to thanks to Jefferson de Oliveira, our expert in researching in web technologies study center at nic.br. And also I would like to thanks to all people who are giving us support to this live session. The rapporteur, Beatriz Corrales, also Selby at the back office with this transmission. Thank you very much for everyone who was engaged in this. Thank you very much. So I hope that what we told you can somehow help you to join us and give some contribution to what we are doing. And I think that it's time to adjourn the session. And thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you all.
Okay, all right, and thank you all for joining.